Why peace? The world will tell you this is what the world needs, this is what the world needs, this is what the world needs. But 7 billion people on the face of this earth are crying out for one thing and one thing alone, and that is peace. And peace is not the absence of war. I travel not because I like to travel. I travel so I can say this. What you're looking for is inside of you, and you should be in peace.
Prem Rawat has been traveling for 40 years, inspiring people around the world to find peace within.
Buenos dias. Good to see you. Buongiorno. Guten Tag. Bonsoir, Montreal. I go and I talk to people, and I present them with the possibility of themselves discover the peace that lies within you.
In Sao Paulo, Brazil, the Words of Peace television series began airing a decade ago. Today, it reaches more than 10 million homes each week in the city of Sao Paulo and over 40 million homes in all of Brazil. Over the years, the series has received the highest award given by the Brazilian Association of Community Television Channels 3 times, with the most recent award being presented to Prem Rawat in person by the association's president, Fernando Mauro Treza. After the award presentation, Fernando Treza sat down with Prem Rawat for an interview marking the 10th anniversary of the Message of Peace being aired in Brazil.
In this year, 2013, we are celebrating 10 years of Words of Peace, a TV program that's aired by local TV channels all around Brazil, and it's a special moment, a special date. That's why we are receiving Mr. Prem Rawat. As you know, he heads the Prem Rawat Foundation, and he's one of the most important world leaders talking about the peace process. In an average year, he will attend to up to 100 international speaking engagements. And for an instance, he travels 4-5 times around the world in a single year, addressing hundreds of thousands of people in this peace program. So we are very honored in talking to you in this moment.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And I am very honored, too, to be participating in the 10th anniversary of this beautiful thing, which is people accepting the message of peace in their hearts, in their understanding. So I'm very honored. Thank you.
Mr. Prem Rawat, you have dedicated your life to reaching out people across the globe about peace. Why is peace so important to you?
Peace is not only important to me, but really, peace is important to everyone on the face of this earth. Peace is not about some concept or some idea of what it's going to be manifesting like on the outside, but peace is a fundamental need for every single human being. Peace is a fundamental right of every single human being. And to be in that peace, feeling that peace, not from the outside in, but inside out, from the heart, not from definitions, not from concepts, not from ideas, but truly feeling it that way as it exists in the heart of every single human being on the face of this earth.
Mr. Prem, there are many different definitions of peace in the world. How does your perspective of peace compare or differ to others?
Well, there are many, many concepts of peace. In fact, when I travel, this is what comes out. People have an idea of peace. To some people, peace is merely absence of war. To some people, peace is prosperity. Peace is this, peace is that. But what I try to address is the fundamental peace that resides within every single human being. That peace is an inner experience, not an outside experience, but it's an inner feeling that every human being already has. It is not something that needs to be created. It is not something that needs to be defined. It is not something that needs to be invented. You know, Socrates said a long time ago, know thyself. You could have said anything, you know. You could have said, stop making wars. You could have said, just make a lot of money in your life, or, you know, don't say much. You know, some people think being quiet, not uttering a single word. He could have said, just shut up. Or he could have said, go live on top of a mountain. But he didn't say those things. The message that has echoed for centuries has been what you are looking for is inside of you. And if you're looking for peace, believe me, you won't find it anywhere else. You will find it within your own being.
Does peace have relevance to all people, or is that some people are just not interested in peace or cannot be reached by peace?
It's like this, you know, if you come from a really cold climate to slightly warmer climate, and there's another person who comes from a really warm climate to slightly cooler climate, those two people meet in one place. One person is going to say, boy, it's warm. Another person is going to say, boy, it's cold. Because it depends where they come from. So far, we're trying to define peace as something on the outside. Then there are going to be people that are going to say, I don't need that kind of peace. But if we're looking at the peace that is inside of every human being, these questions do not arise because it's fundamental. You know, there are so many cuisines in this world. You have Indian cuisine, you have Chinese, you have Japanese, you have European, you have so many cuisines. But what is the fundamental thing behind each one of these foods, behind each one of these cuisines? It's hunger. Now, does hunger have a language? No. Does hunger have a nationality? No. Does hunger have a time? No. Hunger is hunger. If you feel hungry, you need to eat. And it's the same way. Even so far that we are looking at peace as an external thing. Yes, likes, dislikes, I don't like that flavor of peace, I want this flavor of peace. But if you're hungry, and you're hungry for that peace that is inside of you, then all these barriers go away. And you see only the reality of peace, not the concept of the reality of peace. And that's important, very important to recognize.
For many people today, peace seems to be a boring subject. Can this perspective be changed?
Of course, because they're coming from a concept of what peace is. They're not coming from the need. They have to feel the need. What is the value of water? Well, if you're not thirsty, not much. But if you're thirsty in the middle of the desert, if somebody came to you, if you're dying of thirst in the middle of the desert and say, if you have $100,000, I will give you a cup of water. Sure. You know, you're sitting in a restaurant in New York, there's water everywhere, and somebody comes to you, I'll give you a cup of water for 100,000. No, I don't want it because...
Depends on circumstance.
Depends on the thirst.
On the thirst.
On the thirst. And if there is no thirst, nobody understands what peace is.
There is no value.
There's no value, there's no understanding, there's no reason to try to look at it in the realistic way. But this is what I say to people, and this is where my message is so different. That peace is fundamental to human beings. You have to discover it within you. The thirst for peace is within you, and the peace is within you. And for a lot of people, it's an environment, it's a circumstance, it's a definition. But for me, it's something innate inside Every single human being.
I heard you say that there are 7 billion reasons for peace. Could you explain it for us?
Yes. Because everywhere I would go, people would tell me why there cannot be peace. So one day I was speaking and I said, listen, you may have 4 reasons, you may have 5 reasons, you may have 10 reasons, and if there's 200 people here, maybe you have 200 reasons why you cannot have peace. But I have 7 billion reasons, because that is the population of this earth. 7 billion at this point in time. 7
By
billion
now.
by now, yes. At this point in time, it's 7 billion. I have 7 billion reasons for peace, because all those people out there, they do want peace in their lives.
And what do you see as the main obstacles to peace?
Just people's own ideas. It's just people's own ideas. You know, there was once an elephant going down the road. So the man who was steering the elephant, driving the elephant, he saw that there were 4 people coming towards him. And he realized that they could not see. So he told them, hey, be careful, move out of the way, there is an elephant coming. So immediately when they heard the word elephant, they said, stop, stop, stop. We don't know what an elephant is. We have heard in our life what an elephant is, but we don't know what an elephant is. Could you stop your elephant? We would like to feel the elephant and find out for ourselves what an elephant is. So the man obliged. He stopped his elephant. So one person who could not see came and touched the trunk. The nose, the trunk. Stop. Okay, now I know what an elephant is. Second one grabbed the ear and he flapped it around. Thank you, now I know what an elephant is. Third one reached for the foot, feels the foot. Okay, now I know what the elephant is. The last one goes to the tail and feels the tail, the hair at the end. It goes, okay, now I know what an elephant is. Thank you very much. The elephant went on its way, and these people started walking again and said, oh my God, I never realized that elephant was like a big, thick branch of a tree. The one that had felt the trunk. The other one said, no, you're wrong.
Elephant's another thing.
Elephant is like a banana leaf, the one who had taken the ear. It's like a banana leaf. I said, no, you are wrong. The elephant is like a big end of a tree, because he had felt the foot. And the other one said, no, the elephant is like a thin little branch with hair at the end, the one that had felt the tail. And they kept discussing and discussing and discussing and discussing. Of course, this is not going to reach any conclusion, because they are all correct. But none of them realize what it really is. This is what happens in this world. People are lost in definition of peace, and nobody is pursuing the peace. You need to feel the peace to understand what peace is, not try to come up with a better definition. If I try to come up with a better definition, I could. But I also know it would be pointless, because when you are thirsty, you need water, not an explanation of water. When you are hungry, you need food, not explanation of food. And this is what the world needs to understand. And all those people who have the different ideas, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying they need to go beyond it and feel that peace for themselves.
Is there still sense of hope and optimism in a world full of conflicts, in a world with terrible things? How can we make optimism and hope survive instead of conflicts?
Well, what is a conflict? You see, conflict does not begin on the outside. Conflict begins inside. The war begins in the minds of human beings. And then you see the outside expression. And what is the outside expression? Innocent people die, destruction, lives and families ruined, prosperity gone. All the things that we don't want becomes the outside expression of the conflict that is inside the human beings. First thing, we have to learn how to respect. Respect who? First, you have to learn how to respect yourself. Now, most people think respect is good manners. Oh, hello, how are you? Thank you very much. Smile, this and that. That's just manners. Good manners. There's nothing wrong with good manners. But respect is different. It's more than just manners. And that respect has to begin with you. When you respect yourself, then you can respect other fellow human beings. Right now, people are ready to kill each other because of difference of opinion. You believe in this, I believe in this. I don't like you, I'm going to kill you. Well, what is the point of your belief if it is destroying other human beings? What is the point of having something that promotes conflict when just as easily inside of you resides peace? You know, is darkness truly far away from light or light far away from darkness? No, it's like one coin. One side is darkness, other side is light. Which one are we picking? There is so much greed in this world, so much greed, that for the fulfillment of one's own wishes, we are very open and ready to destroy other people. Look at what happens in this world. So many people go hungry. And what do we blame it on? We blame it on karma. We blame it on the stars. We blame it on this and that. But do you know, this is from the Institute of Mechanical Engineers. They figure that half the production of food in this world is wasted, thrown away. 1.2 billion tons of food is wasted. Nobody is saying, why are we wasting the food? We're human. We are more interested in trying to find other people.
Find a guilt.
No, but find other people out in the outer space. When the reality of it is we have been looking for people in the outer space and haven't found any. We are here on this planet. There's nobody else around for a long, long time. I'm not saying there isn't anybody out there, but for a long, long time of space, there is nobody there. We're the only ones. We truly need to learn how to be with our neighbor, how to be with ourselves, how to be with our family. Conflict doesn't just happen between borders. Conflicts can happen inside a house. Conflicts can happen inside a town. Conflicts can happen inside a country. And so the source of the conflict is from inside, and the resolution to the conflict is also on the inside.
In this process, there are critics that do not accept that peace is possible. What do you say to them?
Well, I know there are people who absolutely peace is not possible. And I say to them, okay, so you say peace is not possible. I say peace is possible. What do you want to try? What do you want to try? Somebody comes to you and you are hungry and says, I have no food, and the other one says, I do, who are you going to go to? Give it a chance. It is easy to be a critic. It is easy to say no. It takes a lot of courage to say yes. And peace is not a magic wand. Peace is a little bit of effort by everybody on this face of this earth. Do those people who are poor, living in a village, do they want peace? Yes, they want peace. The farmers want peace. You know, the potterers want peace. The tailors want peace. In fact, children want peace. This is important. I mean, just to be able to say no. I could have said that too.
It's very easy.
Very easy. It takes courage. And people going to the moon. When the first Apollo mission was scheduled to go to the moon, there were a lot of people who said it cannot be done. But there were a few who said it can. And because of those people who said it can, man went to the moon. Not because of the people who said it cannot be done.
During the last years, the TV program has received a lot of testimonials from people that were reached by your message. I can tell you the history of a very important person. He was a professor. This professor got ill, he got cancer, and he was desperate with all his family. I could see that. And there was a time he was watching to our local TV channel, and he called me and said, Fernando, I was watching to your TV and I could watch a very different TV program called Words of Peace. And please, I would like to ask you for all the DVDs that you have from this TV program. Could you please record them for me? Because I would like to have these words available, not just at the TV time, but any time I need. Okay, I gave him the TV programs as a gift, and he started to watch them with all his family, and he got better accepting his problem, and he got in peace. So he died, and his wife said to me some years later, Fernando, that TV program was so important to my husband and to our family to get peace that I don't know how we would take our lives without this message. I would like to know, how do you feel about receiving this kind of words? And I know there are many all over the world, people that say, your words could save me. Your message, not you, but your message could save me. So I would like to know, how do you feel about your responsibility in giving these people a so powerful message that can touch a man that is ill and all his family? How do you feel about this?
That's what I live for. That's what I live for. This is the greatest honor in my life, that I can make a difference in another human being's life. From my heart comes this message to their heart. And up till I can do it, I will continue. This is what I have been doing since I was 9 years old. And I hope to do it till the last breath. Because to me, there is no greater honor to bring even a moment's relief, a moment's joy, a moment's understanding in one's life.
Well, we are here celebrating 10 years of this so special TV program in South America, especially here in Brazil. And I would like to know what's your vision through the next 10 years from now.
More and more and more of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful expression of peace, of joy, that being alive does not have to be painful, that it is the most beautiful thing that can be celebrated, that the breath comes into me, the breath comes into you, and that is the most direct gift of the Creator. Every time you are touched, the same power that keeps this universe and all the universes intact just came and touched you too, in the expression of the coming of this breath, of the expression of coming of this day, in the expression of coming of the understanding, in the expression of coming of the clarity, in the profound, most profound expression, the expression of peace.
Coming up in part 2 of the interview, Prem Rawat and Fernando Treza continue their conversation discussing the impact of this message in prisons across the world, the humanitarian contributions of the Prem Rawat Foundation, and the possibility of individual peace and prosperity.